Good afternoon. This virtual public hearing conducted by the Committee on Economic Development, Agriculture, Power, and Energy Utilities and the Arts is called to order. It is 2 p.m. Notice of the hearing was disseminated to all local media outlets on March 1st, 2022, with the second notice provided on March 7th of 2022. Notice of the hearing was also made known on the Guam Legislature's website. This afternoon, the committee will hear testimony on the reappointment of Mr. Maximo Ronquillo Jr. as a member of the Board of Directors of the Council on the Arts and Humanities Agency for a term of 4 years. Before we proceed with hearing testimony, I'd like to provide the panel participants with some general rules of conduct for this virtual public hearing. All participants must abide by the rules of conduct and quality assurance standards, including the chair will invite individuals who have signed up to testify. Individuals testifying shall first be recognized by the chair before speaking and shall state their name, title, and organization for record purposes. Please ensure that you are unmuted and that you are speaking clearly into your microphone. For group settings where more than one individual is present, please state your name before providing comment. From among the panel senators, each member will be allowed to pose one question to an individual testifying for one round and be provided another round if necessary. Questions and testimony shall be confined to the substance or nature of the agenda. Personal inference to the character or motive of any senator or any individual testifying is not permitted. Any violations of this rule of conduct will result in removal from the meeting room by the host. I would now like to welcome my colleague joining me this afternoon, Senator Joanne Brown. And we'll now proceed with the discussions on the reappointment of Mr. Max Ronquillo Jr. as a member of the Board of Directors in the Council on Arts and Humanities. We'll begin by hearing testimony from anyone who's joined us today. I do see someone by the name of George Lujan who's logged on, but your camera doesn't appear to be clear at this point. If you're there, Mr. Lujan, please turn on your microphone and say something to let us know that you'll be logging on or that you'll be providing. Will you be providing testimony this afternoon?
Halfway, Chair. No, I won't be. I'm just merely observing. Thank you very much, though.
All right, no problem. All right, Mr. Ronquillo, the floor is yours.
Half a day, Committee Chair Senator Ridgell, Senator Brown, and all others in attendance for today's hearing of the Committee on Economic Development, Agriculture, Power, and Energy, Utilities, and the Arts. My name is Max Ronquillo Jr. I'm a Filipino-American, proud Guamanian music educator and bandmaster from our beautiful island of Guam. Since 2003, I have been a music educator for the Guam Department of Education. I'm probably most well known when I served as the Chief Bandmaster and Music Director of the award-winning Guam Territorial Band, Official Band of Guam, from 2001 to 2019. And thanks to the tremendous support of the people of Guam and our business community, our band and I have had the privilege to perform and represent Guam at many of the world's most exotic performing venues, including Manhattan's Central Park, Carnegie Hall, the Sydney Town Hall, the Sydney Opera House, and Tiananmen Square. While music director of the GTB, I founded the Tumon Bay Music Festival, the region's largest music event. The 10-day event is held every March, except we didn't have it in 2021 and 2022, which draws hundreds of performing artists and thousands of audience members from the Asia-Pacific region. In 2006, I enlisted in the Guam Army National Guard, and in 2010, I became an Army Warrant Officer, leading the 721st Army Band from 2010 until 2019. In 2017, I co-founded the Guam Philharmonic Foundation, a new music nonprofit for Guam and Micronesia. Our first project was the establishment of the Tumon Bay Youth Orchestra, which traveled to Sydney, Australia in 2019, representing Guam, and brought home a gold award for Guam. They'll be performing free concerts regularly at the Agana Shopping Center in the coming months, and we invite the public to come out to that. This fall, we will celebrate our 5th anniversary. And as we chug back along to some kind of normalcy from the COVID-19 global pandemic, and with the promise of performing for live audiences once again, we'll be organizing a community presentation of the critically acclaimed musical Miss Saigon, which is a 1970s Vietnam era adaptation of the Italian composer Giacomo Puccini's opera Madame Butterfly. And to complement the musical, we'll also be taking the opportunity to tell the hardly known Guam portion of the Vietnam conflict story with a humanities-based exhibit entitled Saigon, the Experience, led by project scholar Dr. Evan Lay Espiritu Gandhi from the University of California, Los Angeles, whose Vietnamese refugee mother and grandmother were processed through Guam during Operation New Life. As many of us have seen the horrible images of war once again with the conflict in Ukraine, Guam can be proud of its past for stepping up when South Vietnamese fled their homeland during the fall of Saigon. Through our research, I discovered a proud Guam, a Guam that opened its arms to a people in need. I personally invite all who are watching today's proceedings to both events where we can marvel at Guam's great talents on stage and reminiscent, or in my case, learn more about, because I wasn't born yet, a proud time in Guam's history when it answered the call and really lived up to the phrase, Inafamalik. You can learn more about both projects at guamphilharmonic.org. Since October 2019, I've had the privilege of serving in various committees and panels as a member of the Guam Council of the Arts and Humanities Agency Board of Directors. I'd like to take the time to thank the CAHA staff and my fellow board members for the collaboration we've done serving the people of Guam. I'd also like to take the time to thank Imagahaga Guahan Governor Lulian Guerrero for nominating me for a second term. Esteemed senators, if confirmed, I look forward to continuing the great work at CAHA while facing the exciting and challenging years ahead as we recover from the COVID-19 global pandemic and plan forward to greater adventures like FestPac 2024. Thank you for the time to speak to you today. I welcome your questions.
Thank you very much. At this time, I will open the floor for questions, beginning with Senator Joanne Brown.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thank you for the opportunity to just comment. Certainly, I've known Max Ronquillo for many, many years, and certainly is so notably remembered for the Guam Territorial Band and the work that he's done. So I certainly appreciate his interest in wanting to continue to serve, because he certainly brings another creative angle from the music side to CAHA to continue the work that he's doing there. So I certainly wish him well. I don't have any questions for you, Max. I think you provided your comments and your testimony, and certainly, just like I said, having known you over the years and your contributions to the community, I wish you well. You certainly have my support for your reconfirmation. Thank you for stepping up to the plate again, and certainly, Mr. Chairman, thank you for the opportunity to comment.
Thank you, Senator Brown. Greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Senator Brown, as well. Okay, Mr. Ronquillo, I just have one sort of basic question for you, and that's, is there anything that you feel that you have not been able to accomplish or really focus on in your current term on the board that you would like to focus more on if reappointed, if confirmed, if your reappointment is confirmed in this next term? Is there anything that you sort of didn't have a chance to get to or focus on that you'd like to focus on now?
Senator, I speak for myself only when I say what I'm about to say.
Sure.
We have tremendous talent in our island, whether it be the dancers or the actors on stage and the musicians, obviously. And we lack a performing arts venue in the center of Guam. We have the one at Southern High, and I've had the privilege to lead the major productions that have been held there since the venue opened. And I have to say, it's less less than what's in my left hand, sir. And it's because of how it was constructed, or the lack of support for maintenance, or whatever the case may be, or maybe people think it's just too far when it's not. But we have so many talented, we have so much talent in Guam, and having the support to finally have a centralized performing arts venue that's strictly for the performing arts. I know we have great venues around the island where it's shared with sports, but I think we have so much talent on Guam where I'd like to work with you, sir, if we could, to try to figure out a way where we could make that happen, because that's long overdue. I think it ties into, I have seen it tie into cultural preservation. And so from that standpoint, I think the longer we think we are too small of a community to deserve a performing arts venue, I think the longer, the faster our cultural heritage will dwindle away, and that'll be a really sad moment when that happens. So I'd love to work with you, sir, either personally or through CAHA, to see how we could make that really happen this time around, sir.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. I agree with you 100%. I've heard this brought up before, and I've experienced it myself with some of the organizations I've worked with. I mean, whenever you're looking to put on any kind of performance, whether it's a play or theater or some kind of dance performance or music, there's really not a lot of options. It's Southern High Auditorium, or the Fine Arts Theater at UOG is really small and also outdated and old and in need of repair. And if you need a bigger spot, people try to retrofit the University of Guam Fieldhouse somehow, but that's not really what its purpose is. It's meant more for sporting events. So I do agree with you. We definitely need some sort of venue that can be used for theatrical productions, as well as musical productions, dance, cultural things, etc. So I agree with you 100%, and I would love to work with you on that if you have some ideas on how we can make something like that happen. Of course, it's always going to come down to finding the space for it and finding the money for it. That's usually what the biggest issues are. But I'm a firm believer of where there's a will, there's a way. So if we can get enough people together with the same will, we can make it happen.
Amen.
I don't have any other questions for you. Thanks. I don't have any other questions for you. I do. You do have my support. I want to commend you for all you do for our community, and please continue to do what you're doing. Thank you for stepping up to the plate again, and I wish you all the best. You have my support, and I'm sorry more people didn't show up today, but I think that's a good sign. I think that's a sign that people felt there was no need to show up because they support you. So there was no need to come out and ask any questions or anything like that. You're a shoo-in.
I did invite my colleagues and family to attend virtually, I believe through Facebook or YouTube. So that's probably where they're at.
No problem. So again, I appreciate all that you do. Please continue to do what you're doing. And I think you'll continue to be a great asset on the board. So go ahead. Is there something you wanted to add?
I just wanted to say, sir, I don't want to give up on Southern High. I think we just need to change our mindset that, it's not too far from Hagåtña. And we that is a world-class facility. I mean, having performed around the world, it really just needs whatever logistical, financial, personnel support. It really is a gem. And, we should, while it's here, and any way you could, from your standpoint, sir, provide the necessary support to get it back up and running and keep it going, I think would be greatly appreciated by the entire community, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, if there are no further questions or comments, this concludes our discussions on the reappointment of Mr. Maximo Ronquillo Jr. as a member of the Board of Directors of the Council on the Arts and Humanities Agency. The committee will continue to accept written statements on today's hearing within 10 business days from today, which may be mailed to my office at 238 Archbishop Flores Street, Suite 906 of the DNA Building in Hagåtña. You may also send your statements to me at Ridgell@guamlegislature.org. That's spelled CLYNTRIDGELL @guamlegislature.org. Or you can send it by fax to 475-4768. Thank you all for your participation. This virtual public hearing is adjourned. It is 2:16 p.m. Thank you.